Hello everyone, HuskeyNinja here with a brand new Weiss Schwarz video for you guys. And it's a little different to my normal Weiss Schwarz content. That being the full video base damage did on my RWBY deck. Why, you may ask? One being the announcement of the RWBY Premium Booster Set due to be out later this year. And two, I really like how their work. So if once you're done watching the video here, definitely go to their channel, check them out, and give them a like and subscribe. And check out the rest of their videos on their YouTube channel. So, let's start!
Come at me and you'll see I'm more than meets the eye. You think that you'll break me, you're gonna find in time. You're standing too close to a flame that's burning hotter than the sun in the middle of July. Spinning at your army but you still can't win. Listen up, silly boy, 'cause I'm gonna tell you why. I burn.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage, and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week, the deck profile that was submitted was posted by HuskeyNinja in the Discord, and big shout-outs to them as well. They are also a YouTube content creator, making Weiss Schwarz content and playing some other card games and game stuff as well, from what I've seen. So, for one, if you want to check out their channel, link for their channel will be in the description. Please do give them a subscribe and everything. But also, if you would like to submit your own deck profiles, feel free to join our Discord to do so as well. But yeah, we're starting this video off with a Yang, because this one is Yang-tastic, focusing mainly on the blonde-haired beauty herself from the RWBY set. Volume 2 win. But anyway. Yeah, no, I really love the RWBY set, and it seems a lot of people do tend to focus more on the 8 standby builds, which I'm just as guilty of running the standby decks myself. But I do love to see some variety and seeing a lot of these other Climax combos that I've seen in RWBY. Just really nice to be able to give them a little bit of a shout out. So obviously they tried to include as many cards with Yang as possible, but we do have the whole team here, so let's take a look. Starting with Yang Vital Festival is a 3/2 10k. When this is placed on stage from your hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room, which does help you dig potentially for the Climax combo with the choice trigger falling into a trap. You only have 2 copies in here, which is kind of understandable since one, that digs, and you do have pants in here as well, so that's really good. We have when falling into a trap is placed into your Climax area. If this is in your center stage, choose one of your other characters, and that character gets the following ability until end of turn. Up to 1 time per turn, when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you may deal 2 damage to your opponent. So she cannot give it to herself, that's the only downside, but if you play 2 copies, they give it to each other, doesn't matter. So just free burn 2, cancel burn, really can't complain there. The only thing I don't see, unless this, I think this Yang heals, maybe so. Okay, so this one does heal, so that's a good thing. Okay, so I noticed that one didn't heal, it just digs a bit. But next we have Salem is a 3/2 9k. When this card gets 1,000 power for each character in your opponent's backstage. I was about to, you gotta remember, I get on autopilot with some card effects. I was like, oh yeah, wait, this is the opponent's backstage. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, choose one of the following effects and perform it, and it is 2 different effects. First, your opponent. The first effect that you can choose is your opponent puts all of their stock into their waiting room and puts the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. So, some buns for luck on Salem. Then, the other effect you can choose is put the bottom 5 cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the number of climaxes amongst those cards. For being able to do that for just 1 stock is kind of nice. So you might be able to actually kill someone off of that. It's kind of cool. 2 copies of that. And so this Yang from the trial deck does heal. It's a 3/2 10k. On play, you get to heal 1. And when this card attacks, you can pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, all of your remnant characters get plus 500 power and plus 1 soul. What was this? This was the same effect on Vice Commander Asuna from SAO, so I like to see this is back again. It's an effect not a lot of people really took into account. So a little bit extra soul in case you need to poke for like exact numbers can be very useful. And that is it for the level 3s. Now we got the level 2s. We have Yang Warm Welcome when she's rocking back up at the club and they're like, yeah, we got guns. Everything's a gun in RWBY. It's a 227k. If you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, this gets plus 3k power, and she has Encore by sacking a Remnant character from your hand. So you can't pitch, events or anything. So she can become a 10k, which is very nice considering they do run some standby in here to potentially be able to get those out. So very cool there. Next, this Yang Team RWBY is actually the promo. So they run 2 copies of the promo, but one of these is foil and the other isn't. I think this is the foil one. We're going to go with that. It's a 2185. During your turn, this gets 1,000 power for each of your other Remnant characters, making her a 12/5. When this is placed on stage from your hand, choose one character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So some kind of drawback. I don't feel the stats are like overtly high or anything. I don't know. Maybe it's just... Yeah. I'm not certain why it does that, but it doesn't feel like it's oversized. I guess it's like typically supposed to be like 8k. It's probably like a little bit oversized. I don't know. For level 2s, you don't really see oversized level 2s that much that aren't like vanillas, Then we have 2 copies of Velvet's Scarlatina is a 216k. All of your other Remnant characters gain 1,000 power, so global 1k, really can't complain there. And a Brainstorm of pay 1, tap 2, mill 4 for each climax. You get to salvage back 1 character from your waiting room, so very nice there. We got Crow in the house, hell yes. It's a 2/1, 2,500 backup. When you use this card's backup, you can pay an additional 2 stock to return all cards in your waiting room back into your deck and shuffle your deck. So you get to refresh, always very nice. I feel this is also a card that just isn't run as much for RWBY. It's really good. Then we have, how many was it? Sorry, I was trying to remember. 2 copies of, this is also from the trial deck, 217k Blake Battle Stance. Is if you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, this gets plus 3k power, so she's constantly a 10k, very nice. 2 copies of Uniform Weiss is a 217k. She gets 500 power for each of your other Remnant characters in your backstage, so she'll get 1,000. And when this card attacks, if the character facing this card is level 3 or higher, this gets plus 6,000 power till end of turn. So with her first buff, she'll be an 8k. With her second one, if she's attacking like an early play level 3 or something, or just any level 3 in general, she bumps up to a 14,000, which is really big. So that is it for the 2s. On to the 1s, we have Uniform Yang, which is a 1/1 2k backup. When you use this card's backup, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Remnant, add it to hand and discard 1 card. People commonly refer to this as the Lifa backup counter from SAO. We have 1 copy of the Dad, Tai Yang. Is a 1025. During your turn, all of your other Remnant characters get plus 1,000 power. And an act ability, look at up to you get to pay 1, pitch 1, rest this card. Look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. I can imagine with the climax spread of this deck, I could imagine this, like, if you ran more of this would be putting in some work. Because you get to choose any card, so you get to go, okay, cool, pay the cost, look at the top 3, oh, here's the climax I need, and then go to town. So I could see this like really putting in some work once it hits the field. Then we got 1 copy of Uniform RWBY, which is a 1/155, typical good standby target in general. If you have 2 or more other Remnant, it becomes a 75, and character Encore, just really good. It's 2 copies of RWBY Teamwork, but one is the foil from the trial deck and everything. So this looks so good. I love some of the foils from the RWBY set. It was just really, really nice. And actually, we're going to use this one for it. So 1045 on attack. If you have 2 or more other Remnant, she gains 2k. So that makes her a 65, which is important because her climax combo off of initiation requires her to reverse. So with this, she becomes a 7/5. And then, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if initiation is in your climax area, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Remnant character amongst them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand. Put the rest into your waiting room, and then choose one of your characters. It gets 2k power till end of turn. So multiple copies of her, you get to snowball like a good bit to make one of them like super huge. So very nice there. We do have a couple other level 1s. 2 copies of Blake Focusing Her Sights is a 1/145. It's a level assist in front, which I could see being very useful because of being able to like standby in some of the bigger characters like the level 2 Yang and stuff like that. Could be very good. And then an act of pay 1, pitch a climax to salvage back any remnant character from waiting room to hand. Very nice. 1 copy of the promo Blake, 105k. On attack, you get to choose one of your other remnant characters to give it 1,000 power equal to that character's soul, which can be very useful once again for the RWBY to give it an even bigger buff to make certain that you reverse. And that is finally it for the level 1s. We definitely had a very interesting spread here. We got 3 copies of Yang Framed. We have a 002k. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, she gets 1,000 power. And yeah, this was the drop searcher, so this is uncommon too. On play, you get to pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck for a remnant character, add it to your hand. Very good. So, very good. I definitely feel with this is a very interesting spread, I will say. But having the search power to grab any one particular card that you need at any given time is definitely very good. 3 copies of Yang Xiaolong, and this is another card that's not run as much. It's a clean cut. It's the, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can choose one of your other remnant characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your backstage. It's not run as much because it's weak. It's 1,500 power, but if you get her first effect to go off, she becomes a 35. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a remnant character, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 2k power till end of turn. You can give it to herself, which is just very nice. So you can give it to herself, or say the level 1 RWBY again, just saying she supports her sister, you know? But it can become a 3,500 clean cut, and people just don't run. This is like a very cheap double rare, and I just don't see it run as much. It's just, but it's really good. Speaking of other like really good cards, we have Married Life Uniform John. For anyway, I joke because there's an Asuna that has the same exact effect as this, but it's still a very good effect. So 0015, Global 500. To all of your other remnant characters, and when your climax is placed on your climax area, choose one of your characters and it gets 1,000 power till end of turn. Once again, you're guaranteeing the reverses off of all these buffs. 1 copy of Crow Priorities. I was defeated by the mere sight of the innkeeper's skirt length. And everyone's just like, really? So 0035. So it is oversized. All of your opponent's characters get a reduced encore cost. They only have to pay 2 stock to encore while this is on the field. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you may choose 1 card in your hand and put it into your stock. So once again, a card that's just really not talked about. There's plenty of cards that are like, oh, on play, you get to like give yourself a stock, and those are run a whole bunch. So once again, people just don't talk about these kinds of effects. 1 copy of that, and then 4 copies of Yang Free Falling is from the trial deck. It's a 0025. If your stock has 2 or less cards, she gets an additional 1,500 power, making her a 4k. That is it for the zeros. We do run 1 event in here. The 1/0 yellow event, Childhood Memory. If you do not have a remnant character, you can't play it from hand. The entire deck is remnant, though. Even, like, the bad guy, Salem, is remnant. So, I mean, just, you're good. Just don't try to play it without characters on field. You may choose a remnant character in your hand and put it into your waiting room. If you do, choose 1 climax in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So this is like the climax swapper of the deck, because I think there's like a level 0 or something that does like climax swapping. But since you do run a plethora of different climaxes, this is very nice to be able to have to make certain that you get what you need. So just very much like that, because we do have a very interesting spread. We have 2 copies of the level 3 choice trigger. We only run 1 copy of the RWBY, which is like, I can see this being at 2 personally, but I understand also wanting to run the standby as much as possible. So 3 copies of the standby, which is RWBY's Awakening, but we don't run the level 3 that combos with it. And then 2 copies of Team RWBY, which is for, what was it? The level 1 double rare Weiss, I think. I'm fairly certain it is, but it's mostly just to have like pants trigger and whatnot. There you go. And that is going to be it for the deck. Once again, big thank you to HuskeyNinja for posting this in the Discord for me to check out. Once again, if you want to submit your own deck profiles, feel free to do so. There will be a link for the Discord in the description, and go to the deck submissions tab and throw whatever in there. Preferably English. It's cool if you don't though. Just on deck log, I'm able to showcase the card effects really easily like this. So just if you want to, feel free to do so. If not, hey, thanks for stopping by to check out the deck. It was definitely a yang to take a look at. Yeah, that is going to be it for now. Thank y'all very much for watching, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.
Thank you all for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and go and check out Base Damage and give them a like and a subscribe, and check out the rest of their videos as well. Bye everyone!